Good afternoon, Dan.
What's happening, kind sir?
Man.
Your official Newberry Indians baseball hat looks pretty sharp.
You brought me a hat, man. This looks
right.
great.
Well, you paid for it.
I love
Somewhere
it.
down the lines.
It's a nice big hat, too, for my big head.
The kids like it.
Oh, I bet.
Hey, we're at least going to look the part.
Having a hat like this is a really nice hat. I like this. Thank you.
You see the back? Double incorporation of local schools. It's like the local school hat.
Yeah. I wonder if you could redesign the logo, the N.
That's probably further down the line.
Oh. Mix the N and E. Well, this is cool. Thank you. Let's talk sports.
Let's talk sports.
What's going on in the world of sports around here?
All-U.P boys basketball teams announced today, Friday. Talked a little bit about the girls list last week. Another strong representation from the Eastern UP. The top player in the area was recognized by the media this year was Johnny Ingles of St. Ignace, and anybody who's seen Johnny play, he is the real deal. He was the lone EUP player selected to the all-class dream team, and was also runner-up for Player of the Year in Division 1 through 3. Lost a close vote to Oscar Kangas from Iron Mountain. So congratulations to Johnny. The other, the big finisher on the eastern end, Cam Peterson of Rudyard, did make the Division 4 first team after another good year there for the Bulldogs. A couple players from the Sioux. Nate Kopp and Max Scott received recognition in Divisions 1 through 3. Brimley's Perry LeBlanc was a second teamer in Division 4, as was Braden Altoft from Maplewood Baptist, which is the first time now that a Northern Lights League school has had a player selected both from the boys and the girls in the same season. So congratulations to Braden, who many of the EUP sports fans know from playing football over in Pickford with their co-op, where he was all-UP in football as well. Those were the big selections. Manistee had a couple of kids, Bryce Blixt and Wyatt Demers for the Manistee fans that follow us as well. So good, strong contingent this year from the Eastern Upper Peninsula, earning all-UP basketball honors. Of course, the Munising Mustangs, when you win it all, you rake in the awards. Division 4 Team of the Year, Kane Niebel was the Division 4 Player of the Year in Mr. UP basketball, as the top overall player from the media. Terry Keenitz was the Division 4 Coach of the Year as well. So very well deserved for the Mustangs. And we'll have more on that list next week's edition of the paper with some of the names. And
I got to tell people, you just spit this stuff off without having any notes. Incredible.
Well, I did just post it all online.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like, man.
While waiting for us to record.
Okay.
So it's fresh. Fresh in the memory bank. As people saw in this week's paper, we had our Player of the Year profile with Leah French, who was officially named as we were kind of recording last week's show. The announcements were coming down that she was the UP Player of the Year in Division 4. So you can read that article in this week's paper.
Read all about
it. Available now.
All right. I see here that you have a piece about Kenny DePue stepping down as the Newberry Athletic Director.
Yep. Kenny is going to be finishing up here towards the end of the school year. Sterling had reported that the board accepted his resignation back in March. Got to sit down and have a little farewell interview with Kenny about some of his favorite parts of his time as athletic director and some of the challenges. There's a picture of the EUP athletic directors. They had kind of one of their end-of-the-year meetings, presented former Engadine AD Deb DeWise, who had stepped in earlier this year after retiring last summer with a lifetime pass to all area athletic events. And then you look at their Charlie Fosdick, just hired in Engadine as a new AD. Spencer Bird from Cedarville Detours on his way out. Matt Bathy from Brimley. There's been some talk that he may be either stepping down as an AD or on the coaching side. And then Susan Eddington's in her first year. Greg Cromie used to yell at me when he was umping baseball games when I was in high school. He's the AD now at JKL, and John Krentz in Rudyard is kind of the senior member of the conference, but a lot of turnover there.
You know what I like about that picture is that they're all smiling.
They are.
I think it's because the season.
They got out of their offices and got to go have lunch, and the end of the school year is in sight for them. But great group of people there. But that was one of Kenny's last AD meetings as well. And one of the things we talk about in the article is some of the challenges that athletic directors are facing. I think I had put it in here, and I want to make sure I get it right. I can't remember everything without notes. Rudyard, John Krentz, is the only school in both the E.U.P. and the Straits Area Conferences that hasn't changed athletic directors in the past 3 years.
Oh, really?
And Depew is the third E.U.P. athletic director to step down in recent weeks. So, and
that's a stressful job.
Some of the challenges in there,
because when you have people, I mean, the turnover.
Yeah,
it's not because they're not doing a great job. It's just a hard job.
It is, and they spend more time with other people's kids than they do with their own, and don't get to see their families a lot, especially. I know like Susan Eddington, for example, she's missing her kids' games when they're away. If Pickford has a home event, she doesn't get to travel and watch her kid play. She got to stay in Pickford and run that event. For Kenny, I know he mentioned in there, wake up in the morning, see your wife real quick, bring your kid to school, and then you're rolling in at 9-10 o'clock at night after a game, and you go to bed and start all over again. Doesn't leave a whole lot of time for the family.
Yeah.
So that's been a big concern, and a lot of the challenges athletic directors coming out of the COVID pandemic had more responsibilities than ever kind of dumped on their plate, and we've talked about shortage of officials plenty, you and I off the air, and shortage of volunteers and gym time and all these different things that it makes it tough for a group of people that I know that I get to work pretty closely with that wish they could do everything.
Right.
And that's part of it too, is sometimes they feel like they just can't do enough to help out the kids. So you can check that out. Great interview with Kenny and kind of his farewell piece. Still going to stick around, though. He's going to teach and coach. And
he'll still be there in the building.
Yep, cheering on the kids. He says now he can go to games kind of as the family. And, he hasn't been to any road games the past couple of years. So he's looking forward to supporting the kids in a different way.
All right. Now, the other day we joked about when baseball was going to start.
Baseball and softball on track to start next Friday. So next week's show will either be previewing games or talking about reschedules. But Mackinac City, next Friday, April 14th, is the scheduled start date for baseball and softball. Some of the reports and conversations coming out of Mackinac City yesterday were that the field is cleared. Two things got to happen with the warm-up next week. One, get the frost out of the ground, and two, have everything kind of dry up.
Right.
Again, so last year the frost was still in the ground.
Wow.
And it was like playing on pavement. But we wanted to get outside, and we wanted to play. This year, things a little bit further ahead of schedule. Mackinac City's gotten more of the rain out of these last couple of storms, not as much ice like we got here, and snow the previous weekend.
So how much snow is on the field here?
A ton.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we play a home game. Talking with Ben Raholly, who helps coach baseball at the high school level with me and does some work with the Little League, also the Parks and Rec director. They've been inching their way in, literally inching their way in to try and get to the fields from Charles Road. And they're about halfway back maybe to the softball field.
Okay.
So you got to go all the way around the horseshoe and then all the way down to get down there. Next week's going to be a big week for the spring sports programs with the projected weather
Say it's going to warm up and feel like spring.
Yeah, it's going to be, 50s, 60s most of the week next week. That'll be big for knocking down some of the snow and possibly opening up some opportunities to get outside. But that right now, as long as it doesn't rain probably on Friday, baseball and softball will start for sure. Green light for April 17th in Cadillac. Talking with Fred Bryant down there, it sounds like we were confirming game times to start on the 17th in Cadillac yesterday. So that seems like it's coming. And then track will start April 20th. They'll have the annual indoor meet up at Lake State. So,
okay.
We'll have that, and we'll have the schedules out next week's paper, hopefully. So waiting on a couple of things for golf. They're still a ways away just because they've got to have so much room cleared.
Right.
Track, you just need a circle. Baseball, you just need a diamond with about 400 feet of space. But golf, you need 18 holes to clear out.
Need a big space.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be, they say, close to 70.
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll help go a long way.
It's a big week if we get the temperatures, and it looks like things aren't getting terribly cold again in the evenings either.
Right.
Which means things aren't going to freeze back up. But if it holds up and it stays dry, we should be on the field by next weekend.
All right. Look forward to that. I'll tell you what, we'll wrap it up.
All right.
We'll do it again next week. Thanks a lot.